by intoning higher frequencies, patterns would be created by the sounds. So, anybody familiar with something called anybody familiar with that? Yeah. Okay. The Meta Nature was the divine language spoken through pictographs. This language was based on your ancestors' ability at telepathy. The casting of images from one space in the cranial structure to another. In other words, I would communicate with you through pictographs by broadcasting pictographs into your brain. I didn't have to say a whole lot of shit. I just had to think. You know who does that now? Whales. You ask a whale, hey, how you doing today? He said, what the hell does that mean? Because a whale has like 450 different figures to its alphabet. And all you have to do is vibrate a sound and it'll know what you said. So if the whale does that, what were you doing as the descendants of God? So the Meta Nature, or what they call the Word of God, essentially was the way God spoke through light frequencies, through images, and through manifestations using the four letters, the YHVH, or the fire, the air, the water, and the earth qualities. So the Meta Nature were based upon pictographic projections from one mind to the other. But pictographic projections happen how? Through what? Through mediums of space and light. Time didn't exist. Because time was relative to a specific frequency of light. And when you're using light, the way you're dealing with Meta Nature, there is no time. That's why they were so heavy and put the shit in stone. Because they understood what it meant to carve that shit in the stone. It was for us. For the trip back. So that nothing would destroy it. Napoleon took what, 12 hours trying to blow off the face of the Sphinx? And all he did was damage the front part of it? That shit was carved out of a goddamn mountain. I want you all, I wish the natives would do that shit to that Mount Rushmore shit. Start blowing some of them faces off there. That shit is an eyesore looking down on our people. Four devils looking down on us. Now, the Meta Nature in order for people to be able to mask the symbolism of the Meta Nature, you knew that the Hebrews came out, they tell you the Hebrews came out of Kemet. But you know what? In Kemet, there wasn't no even records of the Hebrews being in Kemet any damn way. Not as slaves. Not as slaves either. But you got, when they came out of Kemet, they came out with a language that you see here as the Hebrew language. So if they went in with only a couple of songs that had to do with how well they fought, because most of it they tell you, if you read the inscriptions of the ancients, and you begin to see what the Hebrews supposedly came in, or the Jews, or those nomads called the Aribu, because Dr. Ben speaks about the Aribu, who were a nomadic people, came out of India, who traversed and ended up in Kim. If that's the same people, they just had some war songs because they were shepherds. They were nomads. They ain't had no high science. When they went to Kim and left Kim, they came out. They studied. They were initiated in the Meta Nature. But they also took the part of the Meta Nature that was meant for communicating through sound and light wave frequencies, which became the Hebrew language. Now, if you understood what this means, You understand that the word "he" is essentially dealing with a window. The word "he" means a window through which light projects. The word "he" is synonymous with perception. It has to do with the light that illuminates the darkness and as such brings in perception. So when you see "he," always know it's a window or something that is used as a vehicle or as an entrance or exit point for light. To brew means to do what? To prepare, to make. So essentially what you're doing in both senses has to do with light. This is light, this is fire. So you need fire in order to deal with this. Essentially a brew is a type of a distilling process. So what this is saying, and I don't know what it is that they're telling you in the schools about Hebrew, and you know the Hebrew Israelite brothers, there's no offense to the brothers or sisters of the Hebrew Israelites, but we got to look at it as another way. When you're looking at the Hebrew, you're looking at light being distilled and processed. So instead of using the Hebrew, I have said that the distillation of the medunecha becomes vakumadu. Now you're going to say, what the fuck is he talking about? He always coming up with some shit, you know, ass backwards. This is word. This is one of the representations of fire. So the fire word from the Word of God. The Word of God, which is light, as projected upon by pictographs, becomes the flame letters, or the triangulation of light that now when crossed creates the fire or the flame of language that is spoken and not projected anymore. It is spoken on the tongue. And if you look at the fact that this is a Hebrew letter, you will see that all Hebrew letters are based upon the flame. All of them. And if you look even deeper, you would understand that Hebrew has to do with you speaking what you formerly thought or projected as thought. So the Hebrew language is based upon symbolisms, but it's also a symbolic way of representing how light converts to sound and back again, or how sound converts to light, light converts to sound, and how that sound is articulated by what? The fire instrument in the temple of God. And what is the fire instrument in the temple of God? Say it again. The tongue. Don't that look like a flame dancing back? Don't you even try. Got your sister squirming in your chair. Don't you try.